So I was an econ major in college, right? And it's the first day of class, but not like the first day of college, so I knew I was going to be the only black kid in the room. But that's neither here nor really relevant to my grade. But anyway, my professor gathers the class's attention and takes that weird teacher's pause and says, "How much is $1 worth?" And as hands shot up around the room, Josh yells out some arbitrary amount of gold. And I think back to my father's time when $1 was worth 10 comics, 3 meals, and a tank of gas. $1 was a picket fence and a ticket to the suburbs, but the struggle was hardly ever worth the dream. The dollar was a difference between darkness and a deadlier thing. $1 was enough to push a paycheck to a paycheck, and a paycheck was worth your life and every night of hunger pains and parental fights in the kitchen. $1 or a fistful was enough to keep a family warm in the winter, to light a fire, to make a niggas light enough to stand out in the darkness of this world. And they said that we are all one handful of gold away from a closed casket funeral, visible to the wandering eyes and glistening teeth of wolves. And then Becky raises her hand and says that $1 is the cost of labor and the coefficient of a normal basket of goods. And I think back to my grandfather's time when $1 was worth 40 acres, a mule, and a noose. There was no news of rich niggas coming out of the hood, only hoods looking to swallow niggas whole. And when men started asking for dollars instead of whips for their work, they said, "You were all $1 away from being ripe fruit, from never knowing what teeth will consume your sons, your fathers. Every tree, a cautionary tale. Every cross, a symbol of what is to come." So niggas grew ghastly and thin like the weeds do, growing blacker in the waning sun. And then Kevin says 8.23 euro. And I think to my time, where I grew up, $1 was worth 1/7 of a Chipotle burrito, but enough for niggas to start a fight in the line for gas, for Republicans to go to somebody else's hood and fight for gas, to build a pipeline for gas or blood. I could never really tell the difference. $1 was all the death a corporation could sink its teeth into, all the grief a suburbanite could ignore. And Fox News said that we are all one barrel full of oil away from a suicide bomber. We are all $4 a tank away from becoming wolves stalking the night for a darker prey than we. So when my professor asks, "How much is $1 worth?" I hear some kids say 0.77 pounds. And 124 yen, but I raise my hand and I tell them it is a fiat currency. That means $1 is a fist, a hood coming and going, a thirst lost and found. $1 buys a gun and a coffin and all the blood that they can stomach.